Hello, welcome to another episode of Read With Me. I am yours truly, Isabel Badell, and I'm here to read with you. We are entering chapter 4, part 2 in this particular video, and I am so pumped to actually get into this particular section of part 2 of chapter 4 because we're going to be entering a topic that a lot of people have this I don't know, like a vague understanding of it. Okay. And I feel this particular section is going to just bring a lot of clarity to not only, I don't know, myself and to coaches and to entrepreneurs and to business owners, but it will also bring a lot of awareness of what's like other industries are talking about because as I've mentioned in our previous videos, our target audience are coaches, life coaches, business coaches, entrepreneur coaches. Here at Billionaire, we're focused on the personal and financial development on that particular audience because we understand the power of both. We understand that if you can develop your mind, you can develop the best version of yourself. Okay. And if you develop your financial situation, you can become a better version of yourself. And it goes hand in hand. So what we use to develop this is through reading. Okay. So one of the books that we're reading here, if you are not aware, we're reading Invent It, Sell It, Bank It by Lori Greiner for the financial freedom part. If you haven't checked out the personal freedom playlist that we have available, make sure to check it out. This month's book is The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. And ladies and gentlemen, Vanessa Black is reading it. And it's like bliss. It's like perfect bliss just entering your soul in every way possible. So I encourage you to check it out and, regain some love into your life. Personal self-love is so important, and the way that you speak to yourself is incredibly important too. So okay, let's get into this because I feel like this particular topic is going to be really spicy, okay, and much of love, okay, filled with love. All right, chapter 4 part 2, let's get into it. Make sure to check out part 1 in the previous video. And in this, we're going to start with pricing your product, okay? Pricing is tricky. In fact, big companies often hire huge consulting firms to research the ideal prices for their products. Major brands raise and lower their product prices all the time to see how the changes affect their market share. The results can be eye-opening. Often, you'd think the cheapest laundry detergent would sell the best. But when you mix the effects of marketing campaigns and brand loyalty, that's not always the case. Prices fluctuate regionally too. On the East Coast, the highest priced detergent may be the same one that is the lowest priced on the West Coast. I have a friend with a vineyard who actually raised his prices so his wines would be some of the most expensive on the market and then started selling better. The competition at the lower end of the market was just too fierce to break in. So pricing strategies can be crazy and really interesting. When your business gets huge, you'll have to learn about pricing strategies in detail, or you'll hear about it from your wholesale customers. And when they say your sales aren't pacing with where they need to be. As a new small business owner, however, you'll start with the basics. To me, the pricing basics break down to simple 3-pronged approach that relates to 3 key bits of information: cost to manufacture and distribute, competition, and gut feeling. I am so excited for this because I understand that some of this might feel like manufacture and distribute, but I already know what that means in the coaching world. And obviously competition is competition, but I already have a different variation of that. And then the gut feeling, I have a feeling for that one too. So let's get into consider your cost. First, you have to know your marketing, labor, operating cost, how much it costs to make and distribute your item. This number is not limited to just what you pay a factory for each part. You need to add in the cost of packaging and some overhead for the trucking, if produced locally, shipping, if produced overseas, storage, and systems involved to account for the EDI, electronic data interchange, that must be established if you're doing business with big retailers. Make sure to also include any sales rep or rep commissions if you have to pay them. Don't forget the instruction sheets you have to include with the product. They typically only cost a few cents, but still, that's a cost. What is your overhead and how much do you plan to spend on marketing? Hint, not much. See chapter 11. Some costs will be fixed, like rent, which doesn't change from month to month, and some costs will be variable, like your monthly utilities. Other costs will fluctuate based on your production levels at any one time. Your cost calculation should look like this: materials plus labor plus overhead plus transportation equals total production cost. After you total your costs, add on an acceptable profit margin, which establishes how much profit you're going to earn. So for example, if your product total costs were about $6 and you added on a profit margin of $4, which would translate to a 40% margin, you could price your product at a wholesale price of $10. So $6 for the total product cost plus $4 desired profit margin equals $10 wholesale cost. Awesome. Then you need to know how much your wholesale customers mark up their items so you know how much profit they want to make when they sell your invention. Each store works on a different margin, and even within a store, different product categories have different required margins. Typically, items with high return rates like clothing have higher margin needs than do consumables like soap and paper towels. Many stores set their prices by keystoning the wholesale cost, meaning they double it. So if you sell to them at $10, they will sell it to the consumer at $20, which is a 50% margin. Other stores might sell the same product for $12.99, which is 23% margin, and others may sell it as high as $32.99 for a 70% margin. You need to determine which stores you're going to sell to in order to know what margins to use. So for example, let's say you're going to sell to local boutiques that typically use 50% as their margin. That would mean that if you suggest that the stores retail at $19.99, you need to be able to sell it to them for $10. In our example, at a $6 cost and a $4 margin, this pricing allows you to a comfortable profit. So big note here. In this example, there are no freight costs. However, there may be some fine tuning of your wholesale costs to your retailer to allow them to account for their freight in, what they pay to truck your product to their locations, and any extra changes they incur. So then it goes into wholesale cost to store plus freight in 1 minus store margin equals retail price. Okay, so that means that using this example, this becomes a $10 plus 50 cents equals $19.99. Do your research and familiarize yourself with each retail customer you want to sell to. Understand all you can about them and how they operate. The more knowledgeable you are, the more appealing you become. Buyers like to work with people who know what they are doing. The more knowledgeable that you are, the more appealing you can become. So more buyers like to work with people who know what they are doing. And I'm going to stop here for 2 seconds to just go over that particular thing, because if you are a coach, you're not dealing with freight costs. If you are a coach, you're not dealing with like manufacturers and stuff. Okay, so we have a really high profit margin. Okay. But what I have noticed is that people don't take into account their overhead. And for coaches, for example, a lot of them either work from home, okay, or they like to travel. They're location independent and they choose to work anywhere in the world. So, okay, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, that my services cost $5,000. Okay. And my overhead with my VA that I pay $1,000 a month to, but literally they do everything. They reach out, they do my social media, they answer my phone calls, they set up appointments, they even do my first call and sometimes even close. They set up email marketing campaigns. They can do a lot of different things. And maybe that's $1,000. Okay, awesome. How much is your rent? How much is your rent? So, whether you are in Florida or depending on your state, if you're in the US, there's some tax rules that you should be aware of, okay, that you can take advantage of. There's a percentage that you can actually write off the amount that you're renting. And if you are using Airbnb and you're literally traveling for work, I mean, that's a full write-off because it's considered traveling. And if you live outside of the US for over 360 days of the year, that's an even bigger write-off. So make sure to check out all those different things. I know I just got into write-offs, but this is one of my favorite topics on earth because I absolutely love the fact that in coaching, okay, in online services, and even because you are here watching this and you're probably trying to figure out, okay, cool. So how can I make my business grow? How can I add more an LTV to my customer base? How can I increase the value of my customers? How can I increase the value of my business? Well, those are some of the ways that you can. And I love the fact that she's breaking it down into like different variations, like total product cost plus desired profit margin equals wholesale cost, because now you have a formula in place that you can allocate towards that particular factor into your business. Okay. I encourage you to take a look at what you have going on there, because if you take a look at your overhead, whether it's your VAs and your travel and where you're staying and your maybe transportation costs and all those different things, now you might see like that $5,000 that you're charging, it might not be enough. Okay. And then that's a great way to actually justify you increasing your prices. Okay. And a lot of coaches have this like difficult thing of like, I can't charge more, when in reality, your skill sets, your ability to help someone's life increase and, your ability to help them, okay, get to a certain point faster and with guidance and in a way that will stick. Okay. Well, that's incredibly valuable. So don't undermine your value there. Okay. I absolutely love that topic. Okay. Number 2, consider your competition. You need to scout out your competition. Competition should be viewed as anything else in the market that solves the same problem as your product. If you don't have a direct competitor, examine the prices of other products that fall into your category. You're going to walk a fine line. What do their products retail at your target stores? If yours is priced much higher or much lower than theirs, you could be at a disadvantage unless you can offer a good reason for their price difference. What features or benefits does yours have or not have that theirs do? If they are priced less than your product is calculating out to be, can your packaging or marketing overcome the differences? If your price is significantly less than theirs, maybe you can raise your price. Exactly. A lot of new businesses will try to sell for the cheaper than the competitor, believing that the new customers will automatically gravitate to a new brand if it's less expensive. That's not necessarily true. Amen to that, girl. Because perception is everything. Perception is everything. Also, brand loyalty is a powerful thing. Amen. On the other hand, if your product is priced a lot higher than the competitors, you may have to lower your margin expectations or rethink how or where you make your product to trim costs. You have to anticipate that will happen to your product sales if you place it at its current price right next to your competition at its higher or lower price. That's where your gut comes in. Ooh, damn, this is so freaking good, because I just thought of a crazy awesome example for coaches. Like, okay, I know that I'm like going into this whole thing right now, but when I'm listening and I'm reading things, I want to take action immediately and actually just go out there and do it. So for example, our Business Ivy Leads, we have an affiliate program where we actually pay out 20% of the actual system to anyone that offers it and someone signs up, okay, which is awesome passive revenue for that particular person. So what we're doing is actually partnering up with coaches that offer services, like specifically business coaches, for example. They teach, let's say, a new entrepreneur how to start their business, how to get them up and running. And then they have the mental, they have the emotional, they have the physical, they understand the dynamics, okay? And you as a coach now have to give them the next step in their business. So what we do is we actually offer them an opportunity to get locked in as an affiliate, okay? And now that coach is actually earning passive income, and they can even get even more passive income because they can actually provide them a service as well. They don't have to do the service. We take care of that. They are able to deliver an even better experience for their clients. And now they feel like they have this amazing growth within them. So adding an additional opportunity for them, whether it is a survey funnel to get them started, or whether it is a 30-day follow-up campaign to make sure that they keep the ball rolling, or content management, like all these little things help a business owner so much. Okay. And having the opportunity to just even have someone refer you to a trusted place that they believe in, that they trust, is so incredible. Like that's where we've gotten our best experiences, people that we work with today, and we've been committed with that for years, and vice versa. You know, we love our clients. Okay. So every single year we try to do something special. We try to like increase, how can we, like give them something extra? How can we provide a little bit more value each and every day, especially with the system? But anyways, that's a whole different video. Okay. But that just, it brings so much light into the opportunities that are out there. You just have to think a little bit differently, because if your client needs something and you know someone that does it, might as well create a partnership. And now you're able to leverage that opportunity twice. Like, it's amazing. Anyways, let's get into it, okay? And then number 3, which goes into the next thing, is pay attention to your gut, okay? What does your gut tell you? I don't employ those big consulting firms to study my pricing and give me price range impact studies and elasticity reports. It helps that I have quite a few years selling products in a lot of categories, and I basically trust my gut as a consumer. It comes down to a basic feeling. What is this worth to the average customer? And how badly do they need it? I imagine my product sitting on the shelf or shown on the TV screen with a range of prices under it. When I see one that makes me want to jump off my seat and pick up a phone call to place my order, or I imagine reaching out and grab the item and I go for that price, my gut told me that my earring organizer needed to be under $20. If my gut price about the same as if my gut price is about the same as the target selling price I calculated, I know I'm almost there. If it's not, I know I need to look for another supplier, even possibly even lower my margin expectations. Magic price points. Okay, this is going to be a lot of numbers, so keep up. Magic price points are $9.99, $14.99, $19.99, $24.99, and $29.99, and so on. Hitting the magic price point is key to getting people to reach for your product. If your pricing calculates to $20.73, do all you can to get it to $19.99. Psychologically, it is so much easier for a customer to reach for a $19.99 item than for your over $20 item. On the flip side, if your item is calculating out to $23.32, think about rounding it up to $24.99. Customers won't see the 1.67 difference as a bargain, really, and may actually think that $24.99 price has a higher perceived value. Of course, competition and your ultimate margin have to be taken into account before you make your final decision. Then again, I sometimes find that despite the fact that a product is superior to others' opinions out there, people won't pay the extra couple of dollars for it when they know that there's something else out there a little bit cheaper that will do the same thing. The majority will buy the cheaper one, unless you can offer brand status or a clear benefit over the other item. I once made an umbrella that looked and functioned much better than anything else on the market, but I discovered that the majority of people would rather spend $10 over and over for a cheapy umbrella than buy a superior umbrella for $20, and so the product failed. Which goes into the next step. Don't be greedy. Some people use the same keystone strategy as retailers, meaning they calculate their profit by doubling their cost, and they don't want to sell for anything less. But you will need to balance your needs and the needs of your family against what the general public will be willing to pay for your product. You may not be able to earn 50% markup and still price your product competitively. Sometimes you can make only a 30% margin, sometimes only 40%. Evaluate each item individually. Not long ago, I met the father of a young entrepreneur, 11 years old, Lucas Pachter. He was so proud of his son who wanted to be an entrepreneur and started his first enterprise, selling glow sticks. As you can see, the kid already has better sense than many of his older, greedier competitors. Lucas wrote his story to me in his own words, and this is what Lucas's story is. So it all started 2 years ago at a 4th of July festival. There was a man selling little rings that would fit on your fingers and glow all different colors. I remember him selling them for about $4, which seemed really overpriced. The next morning, I looked up how much the little rings cost, and they only cost about 50 cents each. So everyone was getting ripped off. 2 years later, I was looking for a way to make some money, and I came up with the idea to get 200 glow wristbands, which cost $40. And then I also bought 100 glow necklaces for $20. So at the 4th of July, I sold the wristbands for $1 each and the necklaces for $2 each, which to me and the other people who bought them seemed like a more reasonable price than the price the guy was charging 2 years ago. I couldn't carry all 300 glow bracelets and necklaces, so my stepbrother Diesel handed out the glow sticks, and I took care of the money. By the end of the day, I had made a profit about $300. I split the $300 with Diesel. Lucas is already way ahead of the entrepreneurs because he's smart enough to not be greedy. That's a lesson. I'm constantly trying to impress on people. Set your price correctly and you will make plenty of money. Don't be a one and done because you were so set on making a 50% margin that you set the price too high on your product and made it to fail. My strategy has always been to make a good quality product at an affordable price so that everyone can enjoy my products. That means I sell at the lowest price that I can afford to, taking slimmer margins but hoping for bigger volume. My theory is that the more volume you sell, the more customers you have the more customers actually have your product. which lends itself to more word of mouth sales. The happier retailers are, and the longer you stay on the shelf, or additionally, in my case, on QVC. It's a simple theory and it works. Sometimes when I can make a better margin on a low cost item, but I have to take a lower margin on a different higher priced item. It makes more sense to sell a product at a right price than to get stuck with inventory because consumers think it's too expensive. Pricing according to what feels right for the market and what people tell you they would pay for it is the smartest way to go. I like that a lot. And one thing that just hit me here is like, so for example, for going back to the CRM, because that's like our best product ever, okay? That CRM, we don't get, like, we're an agency, but we don't get that high of a profit margin. Like, if you were to do the same thing as us, I think the profit margin was like 10%, so it's half. And then we raised it to 20% because we want to show the value up front. So when someone gets in and they're getting that 20%, it's like as soon as you see the first and the second, the third and the fourth, by the time you're at the 10th, you're like, whoa, this is freaking awesome. I'm making over like $3,000 a year on just amazingness. So it adds up really, really fast. And what we love about it is that we're able to serve a bigger audience. You know, one of the missions at Ivy Leads, make sure to check it out, ivyleads.com, is impacting the lives of 1 million entrepreneurs by 2025. And that has been such a great way for us to meet our favorite people in the world. Okay. Like, we've met so many incredible people, so many incredible coaches that you can just tell they're winners, you know. And just a shameless plug. Okay. We absolutely love coaches, and we've devoted over a fourth of my life for coaches. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure. And I look forward to some more years with you. All right. Go check out ivyleads.com. That was a shameless plug. All right. Let's continue with this. The truth is that these days, I don't do much market research. One of my strengths has always been that I have a good gut instinct about what people want and what people will buy. But it also helps that I have relationships with some of the most astute buyers in the business. As I'm developing and testing products, I can often count on the buyers at QVC or in retail to share thoughts with me. They have tons of experience with that works and what fails. Sometimes you need to convince them that your product is different from or better than something they might have seen in the past that didn't work. That's what happened with my closet organizer. The buyer said they tried closet organizers before and they didn't sell. I needed to convince them to give mine a chance. I said mine was different. It spins and has shoe pockets, and all three sides and has purse slots. I had to be really persuasive and was excited when they finally said they'd give it a try. Fortunately, the product became a great seller, and over the years, we sold hundreds of thousands of units in varying styles and configurations. They're still on QVC today. Still, I'm always grateful for these buyers' opinions, and I value their input. Many times, they have brought great thoughts and ideas for product enhancements to the table. It's a good thing that I have them as my sounding board. My team also has great input and ideas. It's always a team effort. One of the funny running jokes among all of us is that Dan, who is unbelievably brilliant in so many ways and a whiz with numbers, is not naturally a product guy. No matter what new product I'm coming up with, his initial reaction is, nope, not going to work, not going to buy it. Not going to work. Yes, it will work. Don't worry. They will buy it. I'll tell him, trust me, I have a little bit of a track record. Just watch. Everyone at the table will crack up. Dan's a good sport. He sees us laughing and he knows why. The product will go on to sell millions. And yet, no matter how many times we repeated this scenario, he still feels compelled to be the skeptic. We all have our areas of expertise. Dan is always a numbers guy. And I'm the inventor. That's why we're a great, perfect team. I certainly don't have a perfect track record. Market research might have saved me from one item that didn't work at all. And here it is. A smartphone wallet. Okay, it was like a black leather case that adhered to the back of your phone with a hook and loop fastener like Velcro, and had a secure, slim, and sealable pocket at the top where you could put your credit cards and a little cash and ID. My friend Jeff brought the idea to me. I didn't create it, but I loved it. I thought it was brilliant and was perfect for someone who, like me, who doesn't like to carry the extra weight of a wallet. I thought it would be perfect for other women too. A woman may leave her purse at home, but she will not go out with her phone. But where to put the idea in a little cash or a credit card if you don't want to schlep around a handbag, the smartphone wallet solved that problem. I absolutely loved it. I actually still use mine, but it didn't sell. It was only later that I asked around and discovered that a lot of people didn't want to put a Velcro on their smartphones. Jeff was definitely onto something because today many cases have integrated slots for credit cards. I just wanted something that could hold more, but I guess the market didn't. I always learn from every experience. Some people feel better knowing they've done the research for every product, even when they have a proven track record. Others have a knack for hitting the sweet spots and don't feel the need to dig so deep every time. And then continue to do market research before introducing new products until you have a track record of success and feel you have honed your instincts. Eventually, you will find that you need a lot less market research once your business is up and running, especially if you take the advice I offer later in this book and create extensions off the product lines you've already created. So here's your market research to-do list. Okay, she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Here's your to-do list for market research. 1, a questionnaire complete with 8 to 10 open-ended questions that will elicit honest feedback. 2, identify a minimum of 3 locations for face-to-face consumer research. 3, identify online sites for research. Number 4, establish that people actually like your product. Number 5, establish that there is a demand for your product. Demand. Number 6, establish that people will buy your product. Number 7, have a good idea of what the market will bear. And then number 8, suggest a retail price. Set a suggested retail price. That's awesome. I really like this one a lot. Make sure to hit like, make sure to hit share, make sure to do the work. Okay, I'm about to go in on some of these things because, as I mentioned, I'm always looking for ways, and this is mostly my job at our companies. Since I am the bigger vision person here, and I really like to take risks. I'm the type of person that will actually ask around and just create something very quickly, ask around and do it. Okay. So that's one of my roles in the companies because I really love to start things. Okay. And and then we have a team that can actually replicate that stuff and push it out even further. So I'm excited for you to take the time to actually go back into chapter 4. Chapter 4 is really, really intense because it has so many different, very important key points. that if you are in business right now, like if you literally have had one client, you are considered in business, okay? But if you have had a client or you currently have a Rolodex of clients, go back and just reevaluate things. Like it's time. And if you just finished reevaluating things and you did a spring cleaning, not only in your home, but in your business too, well, this is the time to hone it in even deeper. If you haven't had the questionnaire, like go do so. The biggest companies today, the biggest companies, Apple, JP Morgan Chase, the bigger companies like Blackstone, companies that are really actually keen to invent and become innovative in the way that they approach the marketplace, they always ask you questions. They always ask you questions. I actually do like to answer the simple questionnaires, but when I do see a long questionnaire, I'm like, I'm out. And then I already have an opinion about that because we've been doing it for a long time. And I feel like I know what works, okay, from time and time again of doing it. So I think the first thing that's going to be a really, really great exercise is to actually do the questionnaire and improve the questions that you ask. That's one of the things that I definitely took out of this. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bring your questionnaire with you and let's get into it. All right, the next video is going to be all about chapter 5. And y'all, it's a fabulous topic. It's one of my favorite topics, actually. And it's all about how to get funding, y'all. So I'll see you in the next one. Much love to you and all the blessings heading your way. It's going to be really, really powerful. Make sure to hit the like, make sure to hit the share, make sure to comment, subscribe, and do what you got to do, y'all, because this is how this channel actually grows with your love. So I'll see you soon. Bye.